outside garage door showing that there's no caulking where the brick meets the metal, and then how the metal's starting to rust from the wrong paint that was put on. This is the back door, again showing no caulking put around the brick and the metal the whole way, and the metal's starting to rust as well from the different paint that was used. This is one of the deck posts that was cut. Not sure exactly how it was cut because I don't think you're supposed to cut those, but you can see the gaps because it's cut incorrectly, and that they shimmed, which the shim isn't a great shim, and that's on all the posts. You'll see those. Again, the gapping, a shim that'll eventually rot out. Just wanted to show you the plumb, how out of plumb the deck post, the main deck posts are. This is how it's set right now, and then I'll just put it to plumb so you can see that right there is plumb. And you can see the difference in the gapping and how out of plumb the actual post is. This is the other post. Same way, the way that they have it. And then I'll put it to plumb. And again, you can see how far out of plumb the actual post is. Inside the garage, this is what they put for the hose bib. And it's the wrong hose bib because this is for brick outside and they put the wrong one. This is down in the basement. They cut a hole out of the drywall. The plumber did this so that he could get plumbing down into the garage, and then they never repaired the hole in the drywall. See the gapping of the doors, has a big gapping, touching on spots around, so the gapping of those doors. Trim on the front door, cut wrong, so they threw a bunch of caulking in the bottom down here. And then the same on the other side. Trim's cut wrong and they threw a bunch of caulking under there. On the walls, the hallway, the front hallway is wider than the back here, is narrower. And you have some sticking out here and some bumping out here that is obvious when you look at it. door, it's the same. The trim's cut wrong, and they threw caulking on this side. That side comes down and touches. This side was cut wrong, so they threw a bunch of caulking under there. This up here, it doesn't meet the frame. In the inside of the bathroom, again, the one trim piece not cut, so they threw a bunch of caulking underneath of it, where the other side comes down all the way. That's the dirt on the inside of the return vent from whenever they sanded the seams down. This is the downstairs basement door, and there's gapping spaces all around where at the bottom it's touching, and at the top the gapping space isn't level, and the gap space all around the door. These here, I don't know how you can get those to see that they go in. I'm just going to show you that this is just a white cloth. Whenever they sanded the floors in here, dust was everywhere, and I asked him to clean off all the dust. I'm just going to come over to the wall and take the rag and wipe the wall and show you the dust that comes off of the wall. That's all in the family room area. Just going to show you the dining room light is very off center, and I'll just take a measurement from the one wall, showing that we're at about 64.25 inches from the wall to the center. And now when I go off of the left-hand side wall, we're at about 60.75 inches. This is the dining room return, again with all the dust that was in here from the sanding. It's all in the return vent cover, and my guess would be all in the return ductwork as well. This in the dining room is a bump out. It's hard to tell on a picture or on a camera, but there's a big bump out here. It's more visible with the naked eye. Trying to do the best that we can to get it on the camera, but when you see it, there's a big bump out. As This is the pantry door, trying to get as best you can to show that the bottoms go in. Again, hard to see by the camera and the picture. Trying to do the best. And then also the spacing around the door is unequal where part it touches. In the same way we have it where it sticks out up here, where not down here. This is just an example of a lot of areas where they have paint on the floor, whether it be on the hardwood here or in the upstairs that we'll be able to see as well. I think the hall closet. This is just to show some of the caulking around the top of the granite. Some spacing over there. While we're in the kitchen, the gap in the floor to the bottom of the kitchen cabinets, and that gap goes the whole way down. This is the trim on the door out to the deck. Just trying to show that the miscut of it. This one fairly decent. But on the bottom of the other side, you'll be able to tell how bad it was cut. And a big piece of caulking put in. Again, one of many band-aids that was put on the house. This is the crown molding around one of the cabinets. And you can see the crown being cut wrong one piece is too large and the other piece overhangs it in different locations. Yeah, those are all right, I think. Pendant lights above the island are off a little bit. They're not equal distance from the wall hanging over top of the island. Again, hard to tell in a picture, hard to tell in a camera. The measurement shows better. This is just an example of all the tape on most of the walls represents nail pops all throughout the house. Some a lot more obvious than others. You can see definitely on some of them all the nail pops, and they're in every room of the house. Some of them show up a lot greater depending upon how the light hits it. That's some cracking in the seams between the wall and the ceiling. There's also cracking over here between the walls, and then also up top between the ceiling and the walls. Paint on the floor.
Another window
Cracking of the.
gap in between the molding.
You see on mostly every door and mostly every window, the frame around has a cracking, has a split where it's not put together. This is a railing of the steps. It's probably a railing that I'm gonna have to replace anyway because it's a really cheap railing, but you can just see constructed how it's not put together at all. The return into the wall wasn't glued, wasn't cut correctly, wasn't put together properly there, as well as the flexibility in the whole rail itself. This is a piece of wood that was put on the side of the steps. It's a piece of wood that has no routed edge on it, isn't sanded in any way, has a very sharp corner. Just was asked numerous times to try and take care of that, as to not be any type of hazard to somebody walking by, especially a little child. And again, it's just poorly done in there. This is a wall that was put at the top of the steps after everything was framed, drywalled, painted, trimmed out, that they forgot to cover the top of the step here with a wall. So they put a little attempt in at this wall that's completely crooked. Again, hard to tell by a camera or a picture, but trying to just show the bump out that the wall has. Again, it's more so feel on this one. You can really feel the bump on this wall. The other thing that, this is again that wall that they attempted to put up at the top of the steps. From where the new wall was put up, from about here and around where the wall meets the ceiling, they didn't use any type of drywall tape. They just put caulking between the wall and the ceiling. On all the ceiling and walls, and then the same where the new wall meet the old wall, they didn't use any drywall tape. It's just a caulking the whole way down. I was here when they were doing it, and they explained that they were not going to use drywall tape, that it would be sufficient enough just to put caulking down all the seams. That basically is some spots that they had attempted to fix, but you can see the difference in the paint quality. Probably because part was sprayed and then their fix had to be either with a roller or a paintbrush, and you can see the difference. Might also be that they didn't use the primer underneath. The whole way down.
Yeah, to show the flex. Well, they're in the middle.
Just continue down.
Yeah.
You can see just how wavy the railing is. Again, not a good quality railing. It just goes to the workmanship, the quality of materials that they put in the house. Again, something that I'm going to want to replace on my own because of the chinciness of this little railing, especially for the fact when you're running your hand down here, you're hitting into these, where if you had a thicker railing, your hand would be above and not hitting any of these whatsoever. This is the door to the fourth bedroom, the small bedroom. Just again showing that it's not properly put on, that prior to the door even closing all the way, it's going to hit at both the bottom and the top, not allowing the door to close properly. You can even hear the rub of it. Video.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the fourth bedroom, this is the door entry here. Going in, there's a bump up. you can tell that you're going uphill. There's something underneath here causing that when you step on it, you can feel here the difference between here and here. Here in the fourth bedroom again, this is the closet doors, and you can see the spacing is not equal on the doors at all, where it goes up there, as well as the doors aren't set. This is a vertical seam that's quite noticeable in, again, the fourth bedroom that we're in here. Frame around the window again in the fourth bedroom. I'm standing back by the door and I can see that split all the way from here.
That one's not so bad.
Yeah, there's a couple good, but most are bad. This is going into the hallway bathroom where the carpet doesn't meet the tile. And you can see the edges of the tile. Here in the hallway, bathroom, second floor, showing how there's paint on the floor, showing how there's seams, showing how the towel doesn't meet the cabinet, showing how there's a hole where the supply line comes in. They attempted to fix this where the tub nailer, they had drywalled over top of it. They cut out some of the drywall and now started to repair this with joint compound. Up here as well, not sure if they have any tape because there's a hole where it meets. In here, they left plumber's putty around the drain, and then also the drain stop is missing. Not sure how it'll show up, but also on all the fixtures, they left all kind of fingerprints. Tried to rub those off. They don't come off that easily. This is the second floor bathroom door going in, again showing the unequal spacing where the top of the door and the bottom of the door are going to hit the frame, not allowing the door to close, and you'll be able to hear the rub. This is the hallway closet, the linen closet. This is just showing in all closets at the top where the wall meets the ceiling. They didn't finish any of them. This is just a good showing. But again, it's in every single closet where the ceiling meets the wall. This is the door as well to the linen closet that had a hole in it that they attempted several times to patch and paint, and the poor patch and paint quality of it, as well as some of the spacing around the door not being equal. This is the laundry room door, and like most of the doors, prior to the door being closed, there's a rub both at the bottom and at the top. So prior to the door being closed, it's hitting and rubbing. We also have the seam where the carpet meets the tile again, being able to see the tile. Inside the laundry room here, this is the dryer vent that they put through the ceiling, but then they have a shelf up here with no way for the dryer vent to be put around. Over here we have the washer overflow pan that was put all the way against the wall, and actually this wall, they cut out the wall and slid the pan back into it. The problem with the pan is that a washing machine needs to sit out probably about 4 to 6 inches from the back wall so that you could have your supply lines and your drain to the washing machine. So with that spacing, a washing machine will not fit within the pan since the pan is against the wall the whole way. This, they attempted to fix the wall several times now. This has some paint on the floor. Also some unfinished plumbing. Paint around, I should say. This is the hallway, the upstairs hallway. There's a big bulge in the door, or excuse me, in the wall. The wall by the master bedroom. They took the trim off and attempted to start to repair the bulge that's in the wall. This is the master bedroom door, showing the chunks that are out of the door. That they've tried to repair many times and paint over many times. and the poor quality. Did these show up on this side? All here, all in here. These are just drips and major drips down this side.
Can't see it with the light, it's too bright.
You go underneath it.
Oh.
And they're all here too. These are all drips on the door. This is in the master bedroom, the small closet. The frame of the door was framed out too large for the sliding doors. And we'll be able to see in here how when you look at where the sliding door frame is, it doesn't equal the frame of the door. So when the door closes, there's a gap in the middle of the door. Not as bad right now, because what they did was they put on these little bumpers so that the door doesn't go all the way to the frame and causes less of a gap in the middle. All right, going into the master bathroom, they put the master bathroom switch on the outside. So going inside, there's no light switch inside. And we have some of the carpet where it meets the tile again, where it's exposed. They attempted to repair the nailer for the shower, what they had wrong in the first place. They have not caulked where the grout's starting to come apart. Down over here, they have a different color kick plate that's seamed in the middle compared to the color of the cabinets. This is the door to the water closet with the trim that was cut incorrectly. So the fix of everything is they put a big goober of caulking all the way down on both sides of the door where the trim was cut wrong. And same, the trim isn't cut down. It's up here, we have the wall difference. They attempted to start to fix this wall, but it's extremely crooked and twisted. Over here we have no caulking and it's splitting, and they attempted to caulk the sides where the wall meets the tub on both sides, which isn't any good. And then where the tile meets the tub, where the tile sits on it, the grout is coming apart. And there was no caulking around there, as well as the top, no caulking around the top. Probably not going to show up well with the camera or pictures, but both the walls on the faucet side as well as the other is very uneven and has different finishes. We're in the master bathroom inside the tub, just to demonstrate how the tile was put on differently than the wall, since they're not square. If I would put a square down on the tile, the person that installed the tile put a lot of glue behind the tile to make the tile square. And you can see the edge, how much grout there is back here to make it square. But if I were to take the same square and move it to the wall, you can see how unsquare the wall is. And again, going back down to the tile now being square. It's probably the same here. Over here we have the same thing. The towel was put on square, where the wall itself is completely unsquare. Again, moving it back down to the towel being square. Now we have lots of fillers all the way around. But on the same sense, we have no caulking around the top of the tile or around the bottom where the tile meets the tub.